lūdzu atnāciet pie manis, es atdošu. Vai labāk pie Lilianas, ja viņa pārbaudīs, ka jūs esat jūs. Okay, hi everyone. Let's give 3 more minutes. Too early. Let's give 3 more minutes and then we're gonna start. We have a fantastic lineup today, so 3 more minutes and for the people to gather in the room. Also, those who sit in the back, please don't be shy, come closer so the image looks better, you know, that we are a popular event. Yes. Just move a bit closer, at least 1 row, and I would really appreciate that.
We can invite others from the gallery Riga.
Yeah, let's Rimi.
No problem.
Sure. Okay. All right, welcome everyone. Really excited about you being here. It's finally spring. Finally the sun is still here. And I'm really happy that you chose us as your evening agenda. So, we have a great content today. We have Antons and Zane. Antons is from scandiweb, Zane is from ERDA, or Kim, kas ir māksla. So really hyped to hear both of them. But let's do the chores first, right? Why we are here, what we do. So basically, building stuff is difficult, and it's usually lonely, and you feel that nobody understands what the hell are you doing, and it's really challenging. So we decided that let's build a community, let's share some knowledge, and there are a lot of great people today. It's not just about the speakers, it's about the community, so please feel free to reach out to them, to us, to each other, you know, share your knowledge, and maybe something good happens with the connections. And it's 13th event. It's done by Cheetah Labs. I'm your host today. My name is Vyacheslav, so I'm from Cheetah Labs, and we do everything about mobile app development. We exist for 8 years. We do iOS, Android, Flutter, you name it, also mobile design, and a lot of other cool stuff. So if you need anything related to mobile apps, please reach out. And we are still hiring some people. We need currently junior QA engineer, and we need senior Android developer. So if you are one, or you know someone who is either QA engineer, or I will go away because it's buzzing, or senior Android developer, let us know. And we mentioned it last time, but basically we did a vintage report with almost 5,000 apps in Europe, and we compared how they face against each other. It's 86 pages long, so if you want to really get insights on what is happening, what features perform better, what worse, what works, what not, scan this code, or reach out to us. We will compare your app to to someone else. Okay, so the agenda for today is first, I'm very, very flattered to have Anton here, as he is my former boss. So it's always a pleasure to not yet. For 40-45 minutes with questions. He will tell us how to make goals for 25 years. Then we will have some small coffee break and networking. And then we will have Zane, who will tell us more about education versus job market. And please don't go afterwards. We will have some networking event and so the coffee, drinks, everything, people will stay here and we will network. All right, so I'm done. Anton, please, welcome to the stage.
Okay. So first, thanks to Vyacheslav for inviting. As he mentioned, yes, I'm his previous employer, but Vyacheslav is very special to our company because he helped us to get Guinness World Record that Latvia hold it for like 4 or 5 years. 6 years. And then guess which country took over?
Estonia.
No. Are you Estonian? Yeah. Oh, who took over? Who usually takes over? They tell. You are so local, guys. Think globally. Who is, whatever you do, these guys do it 10 times better, they tell. Yeah. Asia, yes. China. Chinese guys did it. So there was one day somebody sent me, Anton, you lost. And then we saw pretty much the same stuff that Vyacheslav's ideated and delivered. They did it just bigger and more, and it worked for them. So it's nice to get connected again. So what I can share today is some lessons learned from 20 years over which I started with a co-founder. We were 2 people. And our first project that we sold costed 100 lots, or maybe 90. We made a discount, 90 lots. And now we are almost like 600 people, and projects surpass 1 million, 1.5 million. So just 2 lessons I will share, 2 key lessons. And then I will maybe extrapolate a bit to the AI, and then of how I think about the next 25 years. But first, let me ask you, how many of you listen to some radio, to radio? Not music on radio, but radio where people talk. Yes, you can applaud. Like, how many of you listen to it? So, not much, right? Not much. So, I don't want to be a radio for you, right? Because nobody listens to radio. So you rather talk to me like to Google or to ChatGPT. So the more you ask, the more value you get. If you just listen to radio, you start scrolling your TikToks, okay? So first lesson, first thing that I reflect back, what happened? The big shift for our company was when we were local agency serving customers in Latvia for 90 lots, 250 lots, sometimes 1,000. And then somehow we became a global player, delivering to US, delivering to UK, delivering to Middle East. And like, how did it happen? What did happen? I call this, because it's a pattern, it repeated many times in our company. I call it invisible border. So there is something that I considered a border while it was not actually there. And then somehow I crossed it. So let's look what did happen. So I was living in Latvia, serving Latvian customers, making my living. And then I moved to Denmark to study. I really got so tired with business in Latvia because it was 2008, 2009. Nobody wanted any web page. Everybody wanted bread and butter. You may be very young. You maybe don't remember much about it. But I moved to Denmark to study and I actually wanted to work in McDonald's just to distress, relax, smile and get paid for smiling, you know. And actually nobody was hiring me, neither in McDonald's, no in flower packing, no internship, nothing. Postman, nothing. Total oblivion. So I had no choice how to continue my business. So what I was doing, when I was in Copenhagen, I started to call to agencies just like us, web development agencies, telling without Indian accent, because usually they get calls from India, that you see, we can help you build something. And luckily they were giving us some orders. What happened later and what really surprised me is that when I came back to Latvia, because back then my girlfriend, then wife, became pregnant and we came back because she hated Danish food. Pregnant women, they have very strong preference. So we came back to Latvia. And then I was sitting and thinking, can I still work with Danish agencies? Because now I'm not in Denmark. I'm sitting here in Latvia, so I'm back to my Latvian customers. And it was so kind of mind-bending for me that I realized that I am so stupid in a way that I had physically to move to Copenhagen to start emailing agencies in Copenhagen. And then when I moved out of there, I felt like I lost this superpower to get in touch with them. It was so stupid, but it was so kind of ingrained in me, like in my mental DNA, that you are in Latvia, you are from Latvia, you work with Latvian customers. And it was 2008, 2009. So it was not really that, I mean, we already were part of European Union, but like not that much.
It was a crisis also, no?
Yeah, it was also crisis. But somehow I figured out that it's my problem, it's just my problem, not really my business problem, but my personal problem. I realized that probably we, and you and me, are built in a way that we need to embody some experience to really believe it. So that's why they tell seeing is believing. So you need to really see, feel something to believe it. It's hard to believe mentally. It's hard, that's why these visionaries are so rare and so precious, especially if they can deliver what they envision. Otherwise they are homeless, usually. But I realized that it's so stupid that I was kind of built mentally in a way that I had to go to US, and I actually went to US and started to sell our services in US when I was there. And then I somehow was kind of crashing my mentality and successfully started to do everything globally while sitting in Latvia. So I still sit in Latvia. I could work from anywhere, but I somehow like so much here, so I sit here. So it's this very important point for me, and many Latvian agencies were coming back to us and asking, how did you do it? How did you do it? Because apparently it was the same situation with others. So I found this invisible border. I only retrospectively understood about it. So I wasn't really like so smart to realize it, break it, and kind of go globally while living in Latvia. So I had to move physically to different countries to allow myself, to give myself permission to call these guys or to send them email. But what does it bring to you? Because it's not anymore 2009, you might not run some agency. What does it bring to you? What does this lesson bring to you?
Bring your product globally.
You need to bring your product globally, yeah. And you don't need to go physically globally, generally. But you can also generalize, and I'm absolutely sure that I have still like hundreds of these invisible borders that I think are real. And I'm pretty sure the same is with you. So you definitely have some invisible borders like I had. So I was lucky, I went physically to this Denmark and could kind of overcome this mental block of, oh, I am in Latvia, so I only deal with Latvians. So, and then coming back, I could continue dealing with foreigners. But I have seen it in some other companies. And I think the practical thing for you is to think what is your invisible border. What can you simply cross? It didn't cost me anything. Just, you know, like crashing my habit. And it brought us, it opened up for us like multi-million, and we were earning maybe 10, 20,000 a month. And going globally, we started to earn 100, 200,000 a month, eventually several millions a month. But okay, it didn't happen that fast. There was another invisible border. So do you feel you have some internal borders?
Yes.
So it's easy now. You can cross them. Yeah, try to be these visionaries. Don't, you know, try to get rid of embodiment of your experience. Don't go physically somewhere. Just go and do it. And just cross your invisible border. So another invisible border helped us to scale from, let's say, 10 millions a year to 20 millions a year in 2 years. So we doubled our team size and revenue size in 2 years. So what happened? COVID happened. So COVID naturally was a huge demand for e-commerce. Well, first everybody told we don't need anything, we are on hold. We actually were so desperate, we called to Swedbank asking, can you give us credit line just in case? Like, we are still fine, but maybe. Guess what they told us? We are their customer like 15 years. By that time we were. They told no, because you are in not preferred industry now. You are in IT, but now we support agriculture. Because maybe they told everything will be closed, no internet, just we need meat and bread and milk. So we were sad, but luckily then customers wanted more. But everybody wanted more, and developers wanted more salary. It was golden time for developers. There were no available people, but we somehow scaled 2 times. So what did I figure out? What I could figure out much earlier. But again, there was invisible border. So I figured out that if everybody is working from a bedroom or from a kitchen, then it doesn't really matter where this bedroom is. Is it in Latvia, Lithuania, or Lebanon? So we opened up a global hiring from super scary countries like Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Indonesia, Philippines, like Brazil, Argentina. We, like, in a matter of 3-4 months, we possibly got people from 30 different countries. And every time HRs were sending like welcome email, like welcome to this guy, welcome to like some 20 people. It looked super scary. Because I am average person. I have my stereotypes. When I was HR in my company, when we were 10 people, I was hiring based on how people look. So if a guy was wearing sweater and a shirt, I was hiring him because he looked like a developer. And another guy in t-shirt like me, I was not hiring. I mean, it's an actual case. I had 2 people, I had to choose one. I chose one that was like more like IT guy. Then he left in 1 month because he told we are not serious because we are not wearing suits. And then luckily I could hire another guy who became like a base for our company, Valery. Like, I didn't hire him, I rejected him first, then I called him in 1 month. Luckily he had super bad project, so he ran away from there and like really became a base of our company. So, so it looked super scary. All kind of people, pink hair, green hair, no hair, piercings, transgenders, people in hijab, you don't know who is there. Some African guys, like, because normally we have photo shoot, everybody's in the office, nice on the wall. So these guys send their pictures that they got, like some car, and they're like, senior developer. It was super scary. It took me personally about 1 year to build a culture that would support this complete decentralization. But first months, I was brutally revising their time logs, just seeing what they're doing. Like some, and their names are like hard to remember. Ognevechvede, something like this. Or some easy, like Blesson Baby. Blesson Baby. From Nigeria, yeah. So, but I see with my eyes, they are really delivering stuff. And then, then I was running every Friday a meeting to, invite them and have a conversation. How did they get to IT? How did they learn about our company? And we all see that maybe this IT nation is so uniform, but these people were just like as if they are from Latvia. So again, a lot of invisible borders, but I think we were, in our industry, we were the ones who could actually handle the spike in demand. So we increased by 2 and then more. Because we removed this invisible border of, we were hiring people in Latvia, we had offices in Līvani, in Jēkabpils, in Daugavpils, in Riga, and also in Georgia. So we were kind of decentralized in a way. But for example, to start operations in Georgia again, we went there physically. Me and co-founders went physically, spent 3 days, gained 3 kilos, and then hired some people. A lot of food. So again, it was this old school way of doing things. And then somehow, boom, you realize, well, you can actually do this. And I could do it 5-10 years ago. I could build completely different company, much bigger, because there was always this deficit of IT resources, IT talent. And actually these guys, now we have quite big concentration of people in Egypt. So we even, we have some events there, like ScandiFest in Dachau. So they come here in Latvia. So they're amazing. They are amazing. They are amazing engineers. Some of them are amazing project managers. Not yet amazing designers. We haven't hired any designer from Egypt yet. But PM, QA, some, I think, PPC specialists. So, but all over the world, I don't know even now who is who. But it works. And it could have been done much earlier. So much earlier. We could be a completely different company. So Vyacheslavsky has been our first, I would say, professional HR. So you remember, it was a struggle to find people. Actually, I think only with Vyacheslav's coming, we started to get kind of some ease on resources. Before it was like you always suffocating. So 2 invisible borders. I'm just checking the time. So now I see that this the same invisible border is between me and AI. Because what I see in myself, in my organization, that people either just ignore it, or they at best try to make themselves a bit more efficient. While actually, when I think about it and when I actually try to cross it, I try to use AI as, let's say, as a magician. So I don't think that, I use it as maybe kind of rephrasing something or giving me some fast ideas. But I really try to imagine something that did not exist before. Just to give you one example. a project we are working on. So if you have been shopping with Louis Vuitton or Giorgio Armani or some Gucci, like this type of brands, in their stores, you would get a person who would come to you, greet you, give you coffee, talk to you, help you to put your dress, ask your phone. They would put you in your clienteling app, in their clienteling app, and then this person would likely message you in WhatsApp about something, new collection that matches the garments you bought, so kind of personalized service. And then you can also arrange, okay, yeah, I want these jeans. And they would send you payment link, you pay, they send you jeans, you don't need to go to the website. So kind of luxury experience. So what we are doing now for our customers is that we enabling this luxury experience, this amazing kind of butler, concierge type of service to millions of customers. From AI, of course. Of course, we need context, customer data platform, catalog, marketing platform, blah, blah, blah. But that's something that I see as a bit non-conventional use of AI. So while we see many customers, they just use it as we say, okay, imagine there was no electricity. Now there is electricity. Imagine no electricity, but you still operate some manufacturing facility, right? So how do you light your area? With candles. Yeah. So now there is electricity, and you're like, okay, now I put light bulbs instead of candles. Nice. But your competitor not only put light bulbs, but put electrified assembly line. So what we see in AI adoption currently is that it's like fax to email. So they just do some things a bit faster. Or I would say just people have a bit more free time. So they can do things faster and maybe go to gym if they work remotely. Or just do nothing if they sit in the office. But I don't see a lot of businesses, like from small to big, who are really getting from this AI something that just, we have this our kind of highway of thought. So they are getting only something that is on this highway. They are not kind of grabbing something out there that was never available in their lives. So again, some invisible border. So I urge my colleagues and also our customers in workshop to cross it, to really imagine something that they could not imagine. And then we actually sometimes can deliver it. So, yeah, so reflecting on my past of 20 years, I saw that a lot of invisible borders were happening. And definitely now I want to cross them faster. And about the next 25 years, I don't know if Vyacheslav, you remember, but people were always asking me, what's the plan, Anton, what's the plan? And on one general meeting, I showed them a blank slide. Actually, do we have this nice image? Can we put it? No? Okay. Not blank slide, okay, another image. So I was showing blank slide. And recently we hired a guy from Canada, he's 50 years, very experienced, so he suggested some book about setting goals. And I was reading it on the plane, then I fell asleep, then flying back, I was again reading it. And the book was about goals, objectives, and they tell, okay, set a goal for 25 years, big, they call it like, hey, ERDA shoes, big goals or something, like American style. And I was sitting and thinking, 25 years, you can achieve anything. Unicorn, disrupt something, what should we do? What should be our goal? And then an answer that really brought peace to me was that in 25 years, I just want the company to exist. To continue existence. To still stay relevant. And over these 25 years, I just want to enjoy my work. And have others enjoy it too. And of course have good relationship with customers. Yeah, we can invent something, some product or some service. But I think what was new to me, because I was always like under this pressure of grow, set go achieve something unimaginable. But it felt so good, and I could communicate it to my team, and they also started to feel better, because there is a lot of stress in our lives from all over, family, friends, social media, geopolitical stress. Also, we age, all kind of stress. So it's good for me, at least, to get rid of one stress, of the need to, deliver some exceptional result every year or mark something in the history. Like, it somehow just got erased in favor of just ensuring certain sustainability. And it's like not easy thinking about how to sustain your organization for 25 years. It's not easy. How many agencies are there in Latvia that already work 20 years? Not that many. There are some, not that many. All the web design agencies, I was like looking like, wow, like Media Park, True Vision. Yeah, can you remember some more? Like
IT group.
IT group, even C4, I think like, whoa. They're not there anymore, not there anymore. I think FUMA may be still there, but they also...
SCADA still exists.
SCADA?
SCADA exists.
They do exist, yeah? Yeah, SCADA was big on design, they were.
Yeah.
But especially I remember 2008, 2009, like developers from pretty much every mentioned agency, they were sending their CVs because it was like hard time, everything was cut. And many did not really recover. So think about what if you plan for your company, if you have a company, just be for 25 years. Just to sustain, what would it mean for you? For me, for example, it meant that I would not tolerate any patchwork in our processes. So everything should be really for 25 years. And we also figured out more consistent way for like trying and testing new technologies, new approaches. Because we cannot sustain in 25 years brutally doing the same as we are doing now. So naturally, we need to have a process of kind of continuous experiments. So now we think about our processes that we really want them to be good and strong for at least like the next 10 years, not 1-2 years. Relationship with colleagues, hiring. So a lot of things got different perspective. And also I would say it got less stress. And stress maybe sometimes people think it's healthy and is motivational. But I think in the long term, it's quite killing. Look at me, I'm just 31. No, I'm 44. So think about invisible borders. What can you cross? Because it does not cost you anything other than your small mental battle. And you will be palm in different country. I mean, mentally, with new opportunities. Think about how you use AI. Because I think it's just like with internet. When internet appeared, Facebook didn't appear like next day. Even Napster didn't appear next day. Skype. HTTP protocol appeared, but all these things appeared much later. Well, partially due to technological enablement, to adoption, but also because it took people years to realize what is possible. The same with AI. So if you really think different about it, in a way that you, instead of just doing things faster or cheaper, you just can imagine completely different things. Then you can kind of stand out and make big difference. And yeah, think about your career maybe in a more peaceful way. For our organization, it's okay. Our revenue is growing, profitability is growing, but we are stressing less. I think that's a great achievement nowadays. That's all for my radio message. I hope you have some questions.
Can you tell more about the research process in your company? How you research new things?
Well, I would say we became more open to trying new things. For example, we are web development company, so we do all kind of front-end things, back-end things, but we never did ERP. But recently our one customer asked, can you do ERP for us, Microsoft Dynamics? Normally we would tell no. Our focus, our laser focus is web development. But thinking that, you want to sustain for 25 years, you think, well, ERP is not bad. It actually complements our stack. So I personally took part in hiring some people or setting some programs or planning something. And now we're actually delivering ERP, Microsoft Dynamics solution. So something completely unimaginable before, but we kind of got commitment to it because we thought that it's good for our kind of more balanced service portfolio in terms of longevity of the company. Because, if we just focus on these things, polish it, maybe in 3 years we are irrelevant. But ERPs, they are so old school, they will not get replaced that fast.
Would you add more to the stack? Like, what more of them?
Well, there is always a trade-off. It's super scary when you give some freedom for people to experiment and try new things, and developers sometimes just pick up some latest framework and want to build only on that. So we generally try to have some customer behind this change. That's first, but because you cannot just let soul loose, because then you lose focus and your kind of current core services become less, you deliver less quality. But I think for us it was already so huge step. So another invisible border, so ERP were like no go for us. And now we are delivering them. So that's already good enough. And it's just like 3-4 months passed since kind of we started to talk about this 25 years. So if we add one thing in 3-4 months, that's already fine so far. Yeah.
Okay. One more.
You told before about this glass walls and like some blocks, but you lived them through by experiencing them, and you understood them after you experienced them. How can we understand what are these glass walls? Because you usually understand it just afterwards.
Yeah, retrospectively, yeah. Yeah, with Denmark and Copenhagen, I indeed understood it retrospectively. With global hiring, I understood it as an opportunity when I started to work from home. Everybody started to work from home. So it's not that kind of we first started to hire globally and then we realized, somehow it happened. No. I don't know, I just sensed that something changed in the world. Okay, yeah, COVID changed, and it like led me to think about it. But how would I try to find it? I think you just need to have very strong concentration, awareness, and observation. Because to figure out your invisible wall, you need to have like a meditation practice. Because this wall, where is it? It's inside you, right? It's not there. It's inside you. So you need to stay focused within yourself and really explore what you are doing and why you are not doing something, why you are not going to work in that organization, why you are not accepting that offer, why are you not applying for this organization? Why? Because maybe you think, maybe I'm not good enough yet, I need to work another 5 years in top company to apply there. So it's clearly invisible border, right? But it requires a lot of internal concentration that people, to be honest, rarely have. We usually get, where is my phone? I want to focus on something. So it's really hard to stay focused internally for a long time, necessary to really kind of come across some wall and actually not back off, because our mental structures keep us in a way that we don't even come close to this wall. So that's why, for example, coaches can be useful, because they just sit near and keep asking the same question. So you go closer and closer to this wall until you figure it out. So I think you might ask some help, or you need to really be strong in your introspection. That's not easy.
I think we have Zane.
No, but what is interesting is that both of your walls were connected to some crisis experience. You go to Denmark, you can't get a work at McDonald's, and then you're like, shit, okay, I'm gonna call everyone, or COVID starts, and at first you don't get any, offers, and you think that's it, basically, we can't get even credit line. So in the light of this, do you see, just to give some hope for the audience, any opportunity in the geopolitical crisis that we are? Because there's a little of good news these days, but much like you've crossed your walls through crisis experiences, be it financial crisis, Denmark, be it COVID, and then leading to, do you see that this might actually lead you to somewhere, or all of us, that wouldn't lead otherwise?
Well, in terms of crises, indeed, crisis is an extreme, stimulator. You either maybe break or you start striving. But I don't know what kind of, so we're all lucky we have pretty crisis time around us, right?
Not helping, yeah.
But before I went to Copenhagen, I really felt like I still remember this moment. I was opening door to my apartment. I was living right above the office. I felt that something is moving in my brain, because prices, and what resulted, actually, we cut prices 5 times, we standardized our product, and that's actually how we stayed on the market in 2008. So crisis is indeed very, very strong force, but yeah, then maybe Zane will tell you from a HR and people perspective is how to actually, survive crisis, how to make crisis an opportunity, rather than an ending here in a CV. Yeah, indeed. And I think what I recently learned, and also financially proved, so our company was in kind of stagnation after COVID. So and then it happened that I went to one, let's say, retreat, spiritual training. So I came changed. I realized I want to run company differently. I gathered all our leadership, 50 people from different countries in Riga for 3 days. We were talking. And financially, we were grossing on average 2 million a month, 2+. And we changed some things, and our record became 2.7, and normal 2.5. So pretty much we increased by 25%, just because I went to a training, I changed internally, and I wanted to change my external conditions. So I think to survive crisis, you really need to work with yourself rather than with external obstacles. Because this change that happened, like crossing of invisible border or whatever else, happens inside you.
Yeah. Coffee
break.
Sorry, I have to, listen and listen. Yes.
Thank you for
again. So, huge thanks. Here are some sweets for the coffee break and for yourself. So, this is a coupon for you. I will tell a bit more story. Artur Kostins was doing help here. I will tell a bit more after we go from the coffee break. But now, let's have a 10 minutes break, and then Zane will tell us more. Thanks.
Thank you. Вячеслав, спасибо.
Давай мы тебя отключим.
Да.
So, how was your coffee break? Did you manage to speak with anyone? With anyone new? Okay, very social event. Okay, the same as before. Please, from the back, move to the front, so it's more comfortable for the speaker, more comfortable for the video. You know, please move forward. Don't be shy. We are recording your every move. It's all good. Yeah. So we have one more speaker ahead of us. Zane Čulkstēna, founder of ERDA, and Kasir Maksla, strategist, managing art and business at the same time. So please, round of applause.
Thank you. Thanks so much. It's going to be a hard act to follow, especially after one beer, but I'll do my best. Yes, in 2 words about myself. So I have a bit of a double life. So one part of that life has always been into business and economics. We are with Antons proud alumni of Stockholm School of Economics, and thus the first part of my life. But the second part of my life is indeed connected with contemporary art and my beloved Kim, which is already 16 years old and still alive and kicking, with a new building in Hanses 22 and with a new contemporary art fair with 40 participating galleries this summer. So mark down, everyone, in the calendar, 10th of July in the summer, Hans Perron's in galleries from New York to Tokyo, and a huge event. So everybody welcome. But this time, and considering the audience, I will talk about what's happening in the job market and in respect to tech in particular, and also will tell you about one big social initiative I'm leading. Yeah, much like Anton said, I know it's not accustomed here to interact or ask, but please do if you feel like. And in 2 words, so ERDA has not yet crossed the first border. We work in Estonia and Lithuania, but mostly in Latvia. I hope that will change soon, but essentially we started as an employer branding company when I came back from New York in 2016? No, yeah, roughly, or 14 already, I can't remember. But essentially we grew into HR consultancy that does many different things throughout all employee life cycle, starting from attraction, recruitment, onboarding, then learning development, performance management, salaries, blah, blah, blah. So all life cycle. And we are one of those companies that, considering my background, we work a lot with data and international organizations. And one of that organization is World Economic Forum that we work with for now already 4 years. So we organize together with them, or with their support, Future of Jobs conferences every year in Latvia, and I hope this year's conference will be the first one, pan-European one. We also supply them with the data for their every 2 years. They have Future of Jobs report 2023, 2025 just came out in January. So we supply them with data for Latvia and Lithuania. And we also do this social initiative that I tell you about at the end. So basically, when it comes to labor market, there are 5 big trends, and this was essentially finished at the end of the last year. So right now, this point would look, much different. We are into serious geopolitical crisis, world level. At that point, it was just de-globalization trends happening and fragmentation. So this has now, with the Trump exploded, and due to trade wars will affect the whole world, but I will not speak about that. There are 4 other big trends, and the 3 ones that we feel in Europe and in Latvia. Particularly, this is technological change, huge. It's green transition, and let's see how that will play out, because climate change is real, but the demands on action might ease, which is unfortunate, but they might ease considering the growing budgets for defense. And then the demographic shifts, that is part of, not only Latvia's problem, it's actually a global problem. We see in the news articles saying that we need more babies. Well, trust me, China needs even more babies. They're desperate after their one-child policy. The reduction of number of people in China is staggering and extremely kind of problematic for the development of China, but it's pretty much happening in all more or less developed world. But then looking at this particular technological change, considering the audience I'm in, so if you look at the first big trend and then ask what are particularly these technologies that we talk about when we say what will affect job markets, then of course the biggest by far is AI, and once again AI. And I'm one of those who think that in respect to labor market, it will be a bit like tsunami. It's slow until, meaning I don't know, millions of people will be out of job and with no opportunities to upskill and reskill within their profession, with an opportunity to go down, so to become, I don't know, some technicians, nurses, or other people that work with physical work and much needed work. But essentially, it within, I think, next 2 to 5 years, it will be a tsunami also in respect to labor market. We also looked at, or World Economic Forum looks at 10 fastest rising skills. And again, there is a difference. They make a separation between 10 biggest skills and professions, so in absolute numbers, and they make a list of 10 fastest rising, so in relative terms. They might still be small, but they're the fastest rising ones. And this is in respect to skills. I'll show you in respect to professions. In respect to skills, again, we see that majority of the skills, at least on the very top, AI, big data, network, cybersecurity, technological literacy, has to do with tech. And then we see things like resilience, flexibility, very useful these days, and other things. And this is the part that I said, so fastest growing jobs, so not in absolute terms, because in absolute terms, we still need many truck drivers, we need agriculture workers, we need nurses, we need teachers. In absolute numbers, these are still the biggest or the backbone of the world economy. But when it comes to the fastest growing, these are the fastest growing jobs. And as you can see, we have just 1 truck drivers here. The rest of them is in tech. So you being in this room, I think you are pretty safe until the moment you will not be with the development of AI. So let's see about that. So globally, what it means essentially is that 59% of employees globally will need to reskill. I was just watching yesterday an EU conference on this topic. They mentioned bigger numbers, and when it comes to adult education, they're saying that in the next couple of years, 80% of population have to go in upskilling, reskilling. So think not only about you, think about your moms, your brothers, sisters. It's massive. So Latvia working population is roughly 890K. So imagine what volume has to go through upskilling and reskilling initiative, and who will be able to supply it. So if any of you is in EdTech and so on and so forth, that's also a big field. So future of jobs also looks more into, looks country by country basis. And here, in respect to Baltic states, if globally there is 59% that will have to be reskilled, essentially, or upskilled, Europe mentions 62, and I said yesterday I heard 80. That we see that actually companies are saying that and according to their own measures of World Economic Forum measures, Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania will have to upskill and reskill at a higher pace for many different reasons, and Latvia is leading one. So we all have a lot of job to do. What happens in Latvia in that respect? Let me see. So when we ask the biggest Latvian companies over the next 5 years where they see the greatest job growth, it's nice to see that they still see AI and machine learning specialists as number one. The problem is that in Latvian companies see it here, but globally companies see it here. So overall, we're very, very far behind into understanding the use cases of AI and actually using it. We see it also in other statistics. So this is Eurostat, and basically it's enterprise using AI technology. And the ones of you who have seen Ewald's lectures, like up until, I don't know, up until this last summer, well, it was still 2023 data, and he was using everywhere 4.5, which is staggeringly low number. Now it's new statistic, it has somewhat doubled, but again, okay, relatively to, I don't know, best performing countries, we're still very, very far away, and we're at the bottom of the list. We see it also in our profession. So ERDA, as I told, works in mostly HR consulting field. One of the things that we've been doing now since the middle of the June of 2023, we started scraping job ads in Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia to understand what's happening in job market. It has taken us a lot of time to clean up the data, expand the database, but essentially, what is shocking is that if you look at the number of job ads that mention AI, we're still around 1%. And well, if it helps anyone, then Lithuania, Estonia is no better. So I understand that many might say, okay, we develop it internally, you know, we're not hiring because there's no market for that yet. There are not many specialists for that. But I'm saying any mention of AI anywhere in job ads is in 1% of the total volume, and it has not substantially increased since December 2023. So it's going up and down a little bit, but not substantially. If you add other keywords, like everything that has to do with machine learning and automation, okay, fine. We can in some month get to 6%, but not much, and there's no stable trend in that field. So guys, whichever company you work with, it's a wake-up call, much like with Russia, I'm afraid. Yes, and overall, also we don't see in the top most demanded professions in Latvia. So these are top demanded professions in Latvia. According to our data, to job ad data. And again, it's not too surprising because also globally, you still need, as I told, agriculture workers, you need truck drivers, and this is the mass, and that will not be automated. Many of these will not be automated. But why on earth we need so many accountants, I have no idea. That might be to do something with bureaucracy that we're fighting in, or so on and so forth, but accounting is one of those fields that is about to die out with automation and AI very soon. Why it's the third most demanded profession in Latvia, I have no idea. But again, so apart from literally shop assistants, it's not store clerks, I'm sorry, bad translation. Shop assistants, then essentially cleaners or janitors, then accountants, cooks, senior advertising marketing specialists, and then we see programmers. This is mostly to do with government or a big government sector, truck drivers, blah, 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 and then we go on. Why does it matter? It matters because I'm not the only one who is saying that essentially the economic development of any country in 21st the century depends from talent, availability of talent, and Antons, I think, was an amazing talk, considering his second wall he mentioned, saying how much it was choking his business, working in a limited talent pool, and what a big break it was to go international one. This is essentially what is choking majority of Latvian companies right now, and it's the skills gap. And the skills gap is a huge problem on European level, much discussed also in Draghi's competitiveness report, along with bureaucracy issues and innovation challenges and general slow speed. So. We see that also, unlike global and European statistics, Baltics are particularly aware about the lack of talent, also due to small size and peculiar demographic situation, and how it works on education level. And I'm sorry to drag you into this education field, but because I think that all of us have power to, I don't know, go back to our schools or unis or talk with our younger sisters or brothers or mentor anyone. According to Ministry of Economics, and this is the graph that I myself am sick already. They keep publishing every year. It's not getting better, but essentially we have two major shortages. We have shortages in STEM higher education and vocational training. Essentially, we need tradesmen. We that will not be substituted that soon. But we have way too much social sciences, humanities, and even more so, we have way too much basically young people that don't do anything. So there are currently 27,000 so-called NEETs or NEETs. So these are neither in employment, education, or training. Young people in age 15 to 29. So it's a huge number in the country that already have little, young people. So what I want to urge everyone is somehow think about how you can lead by example, which obviously you do already, but also make a small change. One change is everything that has to do with extracurricular education, or so-called pulciņi, and so very small part of that is devoted to any STEM subjects. There is a big push to increase it. There's lack of teachers, even if it's 1 or 2 evenings per week. There's no one that can help kids get interest in these fields. There's also a much higher dropout rates, which is, I understand companies, they're desperate for talent, so they sometimes pull out students in the first or second year if they're good already, because, what the hell, I can earn money, why should I? The programs are not updated, they don't make no sense, and this. But again, it's not optimal, it shouldn't be the case. So what me and my team is doing to try to help it. So World Economic Forum approaches 2 years ago, suggesting we start Latvian Education Accelerator, which for us was weird because we don't do education, at least historically. We said like, okay, we're about jobs and skills. They said no, Latvia has education problem. And we decided to focus on two interrelated topics. Much like everyone else, we started with STEM and technology just to understand after and quite quickly that actually we should focus rather on career education, because if the kids would know where the job is and will be, they might be a bit more interested in studying mathematics. Well, it's also a hypothesis. It might turn out not to be true, because according to Minister of Education, if you go to schools and ask kids what they want to become, all of them say YouTubers or anything else. I don't know, that's like gambling or trying to win the lottery, I guess. So what numbers are we talking about? And I'm sorry to bore you with numbers, but I love data. I hope some of you also love data. So currently there are 65,000 but more kids aged 15 to 19 that are studying in either one of 3 classes in Sky School or in vocational training, 1 or 4 years in vocational courses in the training. So what we did together with one of Latvian startups, not so much anymore startup, but Durio. So we got money to approach all of these schools and all of these vocational training schools. And we got more than 6,000 kids, well, not kids, meaning many of them are full-blown adults with voting rights and what else now. But so we got response rate of more than 6,000 young people, and any of you who have done statistics knows that it's more than statistically relevant. It's a very good sample from 170 schools. And what did we found out? So we asked them where would like to work when they are around 30. And it would be funny, it wouldn't be tragic, but we see that apart from number 1 place, which is business, finance and economics, and the second one being medicine, health, social care, the third most popular choice is arts and music and design and creative industries, and the fourth one is sports. And this differs by gender, so you can kind of, jump it together and get more or less 34% of population of young people who think they will do arts or sports. If any of you know what's the GDP structure, you will know that the majority of them will be unemployed, as of day 1, essentially. So all the future industries, which is Green Deal, energy, ICT. Okay, ICT is 14, and one might say that they don't understand what they are actually saying or what it means. So they might think that, I know, web developing is creative industry, or they might think gaming is creative industry. That might be true, so I can't say that. So the reality might be a bit better, but as it stands now, majority of our high schoolers have no idea what's in the job market and what the future lies. And if you ask them, where did they get their advice from? They get mostly from their parents, and it's natural, but then they're not the most qualified people to give advice in respect to future of jobs. It's just a fact. But then if you ask about other people, you see that the majority of class-related teachers are at the very bottom. So for, I don't know, roughly 90% of kids, school has not helped them to think about future career profession. And then we asked them also what career activities they have participated in, and actually just 41% have looked anything online, so I guess the rest of them haven't, which is also interesting. But the part that I'm worried about is that very few of them, for example, have any kind of physical experience or interaction or exposure to real employers. So again, I urge everyone who's there, who's Chile Labs or so, to think about, getting excursions or inviting internships to your companies. And speaking of internships, and I don't want to put you down, so we're very close to the last slides, bear with me. So last summer, more than 20,500 high schoolers, not only, also from vocational schools, applied to get an internship and only 9,000 of them got it. Why? Because there's not enough of good internship places. So again, guys, if any of you are working for tech company, I assume you are, please talk with your bosses, because currently most of them go into Rimi Maxima or local municipality to do basic physical work, which again is not bad. Any first work is good for work ethics and so on and so forth. But again, it's not the future, and we see the future. So financial insurance, fintech took 4 interns this summer, and ICT took 100, if I'm not mistaken. So, well, considering how much you need, that's not optimal. No, yeah, so basically what we do, and I will be finishing soon, we will do every year career surveys just to see if we're moving in the right direction. We will be pushing companies to offer summer internship. We will have also STEM excursions, kind of. I'm not going to dwell into that. That's too specific. And then another thing that we've done, and that will be my end of the story. I'll show you our contribution to this field, and that has to do with launching a platform, Nākotnes Darbs LV, and I think we can go into video. Essentially, as I told, we've been scraping job ads for 1.5 years, and we now created this publicly available website where you go in using Typeform, you fill out the Holland code. It's the most popular employment orientation, basically questionnaire that exists. It's used by Nodarbinātības aģentūra everywhere. It's a standard practice in US and everywhere in Europe. It's adjusted to high schoolers, so they ask you, do you like to fix your basically bike? Do you like to do other things? And then it says, according to this, your type is the combination of 3 letters: practical, research-oriented, and artistic. And based on this methodology, it actually has tons of professions that fits each code. But in Latvia, based on our scraped job ads, you can do just 3 jobs. And here we show description, how many companies, how many unique job ads, where they're located, what are the salary levels, what are the companies that offer these jobs, what are the skills that are needed for these jobs. And this uses ESCO, which is European Taxonomy for Skills and Jobs, very specific jobs that matches ESCO, and also job ad description. And we also added the paid ChatGPT version for you to be able to ask if you don't have a career consultant, so you can ask any questions you want. It will also show you in the second. We are adding different job families one by one. We started with IT. But we will also add other ones. Here are just top professions. In general in Latvia, it gets updated. It should be getting updated on daily basis. It might be weekly. I think we switch it to weekly now. But yes, so basically also you can get a lot of information for the fields you are right now. There are top 20 IT-related professions in demand in Latvia. You will see their descriptions, skills, the companies who look for that. It's by far the Scandi and others. Some of them are intermediates, like Working Day and other ones. And here you see also that the groups are general, but descriptions are quite specific. So we have right now IT, sales, and engineering, but we will add at least 15 more in other job families. So that is our humble kind of offer or support to all those kids that don't have career consultants or don't have market data to understand what and how. And again, it's hypothesis that, you know, they will see the data and they'll say like, oh, no, I will not be an artist, I'll be a programmer. Probably not. This is not how it works, but let's see. We have 2 years to make it work together with all of the activities, and I'll hope we'll manage. Thank you.
Great. Do we have any questions? Yes?
What's with the fire emojis?
Good question. So when we created the first version of this platform, we were testing it out on high schoolers, and initially when we had the list of the jobs and the salary, the first thing we realized that they don't understand salaries. So basically they see a salary 900 and say like, oh my God, this is like shitloads of money, you know. So then we substituted it like with, you know, like in Google Maps with restaurants. You have one for, so that it's clear straight away, this is more than the other one. The second thing we understood that they don't understand the names of professions or jobs. You know, they read, they don't understand what it means, so they skip it. So we took Future of Jobs report when it comes to future professions and added this fire emoji so that, okay, you don't understand what it means, but please look into it's a future profession. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, we'll see how it works. Yeah.
Thank you, first of all. And I'm very curious specifically about like STEM and programming, that maybe the demand is now, and you kind of like, okay, you have to study,
Yeah.
and then in 10 years we have a lot
Yeah.
of programmers, and we maybe don't
No
have
jobs. Yes.
And something like that I think happened from the parents, like
Yes.
economists, lawyers.
Yes. Yes. No, very good question. So you're absolutely right that demand for current jobs is not necessarily demand for future jobs. So ideally, and let's see if we manage to pull this platform in that direction, you should wait, you know, you should give, I don't know, 60% weight to current profession and 40 to future, because the many, meaning OECD, you know, World Economic Forum, many have made predictions, and they might also not be right, you know. With the development of AI, we might need very few programmers in the future, and that's actually a massive problem for India, for example. So it's a tricky, but the way I look at it is that currently they have nothing. So even moving them into direction of current demand is better than no understanding of demand and them thinking they will be porcins, which none of them will, you know. So that's kind of my idea. But you're absolutely right, and it's a big issue. Some of that we know answers to. For example, with the global aging and so on and so forth, there will be huge demand for nurses and other, like, you know, no one can still, you know, take care of older people at that rate and people that are ill. So that will stay. Programmers, we'll see. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
So, just a thought. Let's say in 5 years, whatever the AI changes the world, let's say that if that number of, okay, if 60% of the current employed people need to reskill, upskill, or get fired, then my question is, like, in a bigger picture, like if suddenly half of the people lose their jobs and incomes, who will go to the shops? So what happens with the bottom line of any retail chain or whoever else, you know, people can earn money and they can spend it somewhere? Is there anyone kind of really trying to figure out, like, hey, what is the next
Well,
step?
trust me, if we get to that point, shops will be the least of our problem. You know, there will be riots in the street, and there will be many Trumps in this world. So, essentially, what happens right now, there is how to say it, there are two forces that are trying. We'll see which catch up faster. Demographic problems or the rise of productivity, you know, and with AI. So essentially, if the AI, meaning it will change everything, but if it's correctly managed, ideally, it's already a big breakthrough in productivity. We hadn't had any major breakthrough in productivity for 20 years. It's a part of big problem. And in nations that are getting smaller because of decreasing fertility, it's one of the answers. It's actually good, because we don't have labor, If we can have AI doing, some of the boring tasks of client service and I'm sorry, but accounting, it's a big relief for countries that don't have people. So, but the question is how exactly it will play out. The big worry is of course, is that it will create huge inequality and will put out of job many people in very sudden terms, with the only option for them not to upskill, but essentially go down to more physical jobs that are harder to substitute by AI. So essentially, accountants will have to become janitors. That is a real risk, and that means riots, essentially, and so forth. So it's a very complicated question. Nobody knows how it will play out, but trust me, when it does, the shops will be least of our problem. There will be bigger problem. So one of the things that is being discussed already for years, universal income. So we might get to the point in the society where, a lot of jobs is done by, we automate many jobs, and we're so wealthy that we can pay people just to exist. Do creative stuff, wherever. Universal income, so because there's not enough of jobs, but we're wealthy enough not to have to make everyone work. But again, it's a huge experiment. Well, that has never happened. There has been smaller experiments in Europe in certain groups, but it's a huge social change. So I'm by nature an optimist. So I hope that especially for small countries like Latvia that don't have enough people, it's a big promise for productivity rise and for a chance for us to compensate all the things that we cannot do because we don't have the people and the talent. But how it will play out, no idea. No idea. Sorry, I hope I didn't drag you down. No?
No, it's super awesome.
Okay.
Right.
No, but other than that, it's all great. So, thank you.
Thank you. So, huge thanks to Zane once again. Thank you. Thank you also for one more thing to worry about as a software company developer.
Sorry.
But yeah, hopefully it will turn out great and invest more into youngsters and
Absolutely.
Do stuff. Once again, thank you. Thanks everyone who came here. So one last thing. Can we go to the slides? I have last one. Basically, there will be a QR code here. If you have any ideas how to make us better, let us know. Just about now. Yeah, it will appear eventually. Maybe AI will do it a bit better further on. But yes, so fill in the QR code, let us get better, and please don't run away. Socialize, chat, have a drink or two, and yeah, build a community. Thanks again.